This Saturday, February 15th, marks the 55th year since the British surrendered Singapore to the Japanese during World War II. Now, many of us probably know that the historic event took place in Ford Factory at Bukit Timah, but few may know that the critical decision to surrender was made in a bunker 20 feet under the ground at Fort Canning. The bunker, or an underground hideout, was the commanding headquarters for the British Army between 1939 and 1942. It was a place where some 50 British and local officers worked secretly as telephone operators, Morse coding officers, and phonogram operators during the war. Well, the bunker's been closed to the public since the war, but you'll soon be able to tour the bunker when it opens to the public this Saturday. That's because Fort Canning Country Club, which is situated behind the bunker, has restored it to commemorate the 55th anniversary of the surrender. Some $3 million and 6 years of research went into the restoration. And one special person got a sneak preview of the show in the bunker just this week.
It's been 55 years since Harry Chew last went to his office here at Fort Canning. But today, as 77-year-old Harry sinks into his old familiar chair, what used to be his office during World War II has been preserved as a historic site.
I was mainly a phonogram operator. They gave us each a telephone, and we were supposed to send messages out using that phone and receive messages from the phone. This is supposed to be a top secret affair. Nobody outside the military knows the existence of this bunker.
This bunker, situated 20 feet underground at Fort Canning, was nicknamed the Battlebox by military officers. It was used as a communication centre for the British Army during World War II.
This is the BBC with the news for Monday, December the 8th, 1941. A Japanese air formation today dropped bombs on Singapore, targeting the Seletar and Tringa aerodromes and the city.
This was one of the safest places in Singapore during the war. That is why, we were quite happy. Although it was uncomfortable working here, we were quite happy. Bomb-proof, everything-proof.
The situation was short-lived. The Japanese cut off the island's water and power supply. According to some historians, General Commanding Officer A.E. Percival had no choice but to surrender.
He was worried about the civilian population more than the British, because the Japanese cut off the water supply. Without water, how can you survive? And then no water, and then there was an epidemic, the typhoid epidemic and all that. In my opinion, it was a really difficult question for Percival to make.
But surely we can put up a better show than this. The British Army is not in the habit of surrendering.
We must consider the potential loss of life of both the troops and the civilians.
Are we, gentlemen, to be the first British force this century to surrender? When there still may be some hope, do none of you support a counter-attack?
I'm afraid not, sir.
However, Percival's decision to surrender has created much controversy even till this day. But his son, who visited the battle box in December last year, felt that history hasn't been fair to his father.
His own personal conscience was absolutely clear that what he did here, and he surrendered it, and of course militarily that's a terrible thing to do, but he always felt that if he hadn't surrendered it, there would have been terrible slaughter here in Singapore.
On February 15th, 1942, the British surrendered. No records exist on what became of the bunker during the occupation years. In 1945, when the Japanese surrendered, the bunker was returned to British hands and they sealed it off from all activities. Until 1988, when the national parks reopened the bunker to be restored as a historic site. Spanning an area of some 1,300 square meters, the bunker contains 22 rooms and 2 toilets.
It's not just an old military historic site, but also where the generals had moved about and made decisions here. So to stage an exhibition on World War II, we just achieve part of the effect, but to actually recreate and restore the place as it would have been like during that time would have been a great experience, learning experience for a lot of people.
However, early on, the restoration team was already stumped. Research material was scarce and the bunker had been cleaned out. What was available was found in the bunker: some old equipment shells, filtration plants, an oil tank and some bullets. And most interestingly, some 60 sets of graffiti found on the walls and doors provided vital information. 6 of the graffiti, which were written in Japanese, listed the different communication sites around the island.
When we first got into the battle box, there was hardly any equipment left behind. Nearing the last few days before the fall of Singapore, there was this scorched earth policy. They destroyed a lot of equipment, and also a lot of documents were deliberately destroyed. We tried contacting several institutions in the UK, which was not very successful, but things picked up, first of all, with Mr. Harry Chew's appearance.
And even now, I still think my memory is not too bad. I mean, above average. That's why I said.
But contacting veterans like Harry was only the start.
We conducted a research trip to the UK, established contact with Imperial War Museum. We found 2 photographs that were taken inside the battle box here, and we located the 2 rooms where it was taken. As we went on, we found out there were more materials for us to cross-refer. There was no direct information. A lot of it was cross-references.
And with that, work began.
Mr. May, can you make me some more of this?
Furniture and artifacts had to be custom made. Great pains were taken to make some artifacts look, 55 years old. And some props couldn't even be custom made. They had to be either borrowed or bought. As for the stars of the show, 24 life-size figures were sculpted and molded in the United Kingdom. Flown to Singapore to be dressed, and positioned for the exhibition. But 6 of them were also given an extra function.
Effectively, he will move in a number of axes, his whole body backwards and forwards. His head rotates so that he can face the other character. He speaks with his mouth and lips. His eyes move up and down and side to side, and eyelids. His chest panel fits over the 2 breathing cylinders and hinges so that we can see the breathing effect.
Reports that we have practically no petrol except what is in the tanks of the vehicles.
I am going to have to call a conference.
While androids and animatronics can make this $3 million history lesson come alive, creators of this guided tour were determined to bring you back in time. Bringing in expertise from the UK and Australia, the team used sophisticated lighting and dramatic sound effects to do that.
As this door closes, there's going to be a loud crash here. Gas attack, gas attack. This is the fortress plotting room, where we've got animatronics actually leaning out over it, and this is where they will be operating the floors.
27, heading 190 degrees, height 1836 feet. We have a formation of 27 approaching your area, heading 190.
through here, we've got the surrender conference room. And this is where they had the final conference. This is the conference that they decided to surrender.
And Harry, who took a sneak preview of the whole show, had this to say.
The British Army is not in the habit of...
The show gave me memories of my life 55 years ago. Like an old soldier returning to his camp, like that sort of thing.